Hey there, it's Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast on Thursday, December 28th, in this week between the holidays. How you doing? Well, we have an aspect of contrast today over our heads. 5:15 this afternoon, Mars squares Neptune. And I'll tell you, old Uncle Thomas has some ability to speak to this because these two planets, including the sun, are glued together in my own chart. So there's Mars-Sun-Tune, Neptune, Mars-Sun, Mars and Tune, one planet basically, one energy, but boy, is there a contrast built within it. Because everything about Mars is go, and everything about Neptune is whoa. Mars is all about jump in both feet. Neptune is about escapism. Mars is about action. Neptune is about a yoga mat. Mars is the assertive will, and Neptune is all about the spiritual connection, the transcendent, the redemption that Liz Green talks about of our soul. So Mars would be the outer journey, Neptune the inner journey. And at 5:15 this afternoon Eastern, they are going to be in a tense square aspect. So today, if within some of those areas that we just outlined, if you feel some pull one way or the other, maybe trying to outdrive in one sense, maybe trying to pull back too much in another. Perhaps it could be overdriving a situation versus not seeing the situation clearly for what it really is. On that shadow side of Neptune, are you being fooled by someone else, or are you fooling yourself? These are the questions to ask. This is the high timeline parade around this aspect. And if you feel it heavily, welcome to my world. I've lived with it all my life. Now, also, the moon is changing signs tonight at 7:23 Eastern. It leaves Cancer, home turf, and goes into hot Leo. Now, we've been following these periods when the moon changes signs. There is a void of course before it. And simply what the void of course is, as the moon leaves a sign, there's a point where it makes the last aspect that it's going to make before it changes to the next sign. That's the key aspect, and that's what triggers the void of course. And what we've been following, and what's on Kristen Lawhead's lunar calendar that you can download for free from funastrology.com/moon, we look at what the last aspect is as to whether that lunar period is going to tend to be more favorable for outcomes or more challenging. This one's got a little more challenging bent to it because it's an opposition to Pluto. That's the last aspect before the moon enters Leo. It opposes Pluto. Now, here's the deal with the moon. So, June 11th of this past year, Pluto, which was in retrograde, moving backwards in the sky, re-entered Capricorn, moving very slowly, 248 years to orbit the sun, until October 10th, when it stationed direct at about 27 degrees Capricorn, started moving forward again. So from that whole time, since June 11th until January 20th, when it leaves Capricorn and re-enters 0 degrees Aquarius, Pluto has been sitting right there at the last few degrees of a sign. So when the moon changes signs, it basically is hitting Pluto about 3 out of 4 times. Now, if you just think about, so for the last about 6 months, and this is not scientific, and this is just an observation, and it's either something you've been feeling or not, maybe observing or not, but Pluto represents death and rebirth. I looked up the global statistic of 150,000 people on average die per day. But yet, I've seen posts on social media, and it just seems that there's this presence of a lot of people are choosing to exit during this time. Also, a lot of people may have been experiencing more deep transformations in various ways in their lives, and it could come in all kinds of sizes and varieties and colors. And I know there's a lot of feeling out there that something is just off and something is just up. Well, Pluto represents the shakeup of the transformation. And since the summer, for about 3 out of 4 times that the moon has changed signs, Pluto has been the last aspect. But here's the shift, because on January 20th, it enters Aquarius again, moving forward, and it will no longer be the last planet for a long, long time. So there is going to be some kind of shift with this energy, and we'll just have to observe and see what it's like. Let's not together forget what it was like with Pluto being this last aspect, and let's contrast that after January 20th, okay? We'll see how that plays out in the months ahead. Now, there's another energetic shift happening tomorrow, and that is Venus leaving Scorpio and entering Sagittarius. What will that energy be like? Well, we'll talk about it in the morning, and I will see you then. Hope you're having a wonderful week and the holidays, and your friends and family enjoy, and I will see you back tomorrow.